Welcome, Cancer, to your monthly love reading for August of 2018. So, let's look into what's going on with you. And this is dealing with, if you're dealing with somebody, all right, currently, or you have a marriage or a love relationship that's pending, right? So, I feel in the first week, you're working, all right? You're trying to distract yourself in a positive way for a lot of you out there. If you aren't working, you're looking for ways to work. You're looking for work. You're looking for something that keeps you focused and keep you away from emotional issues. Maybe even trying to repair something that did break. Repair a relationship that did break. So sometimes it's like moving away, but just parting the ways for the meantime as you focus on maybe some financial obligations and opportunities. And I feel that your romantic partner, if you're waiting for them, or if you two have separated, they're isolating themselves. They might even feel alone right now, and potentially because they're feeling a bit insecure. Sometimes if you were the one who broke up with them, they're not liking that too much. Or the fact that some of you might even be dealing with someone who has children, and they're trying to find ways to be a bit more confident when it comes to their finances and being able to take care of themselves and their children, and even pay back an ex-partner or something that they're dealing with if they were borrowing money from them. Those things might be going on, or even help out your children if you have children together. Something like that is happening, but I feel like emotionally, even physically, they might be going through some things where they're not at their best. Especially if you're dealing with an ex-partner, they might be going through a lot of emotional torment of their own, through guilt, through just some depression and some severe things that they're facing right now. So keep that in mind. That's the first week of August. Now, as we move in, I feel like, again, a lot of you are needing to keep things into perspective. A lot of times we break away or we separate from someone for different reasons, and I feel like part of this is for you to try to keep your mind off of what that other person is doing, because they may be watching you from afar. They may be kind of looking at you from afar, and maybe you don't like that. You don't like to be exposed in that way, especially if they're not communicating or letting you know what's going on. I feel like you might be on candy camera, but I feel also that they're dealing with some things that they need to take care of. Sometimes it's where you're able to provide for them and they're not really able to provide for themselves, and maybe you kind of put them out, or you say you have to go and handle your business and make sure you take care of things, or even unfinished business when it comes to a wife or ex-partner, someone else who might be even spying on you and looking to see what you might be up to. So you can look all you want, but make sure that you're still taking care of your business. So that's how the kind of approach I feel like you need to have. So I feel like a lot of you are leaving something behind. You're closing that chapter. You're trying to close that door and breaking away from that restrictive kind of scenario and keep things into perspective. I feel the career opportunities, things that are going to work out for you, and it can work out if you to give your full devotion and energy to it, and time will just melt away in no time. Just keep your mind on that, okay? Children definitely seems to be part of the issue or the situation that you deal with, right? So I feel here as well, you're still getting to know somebody, but these are the things, these are steps that you have to take to get to know somebody. Unfortunately, it can be very tormenting at times between you two, but I feel like it's the steps that are necessary. So as you move into the third week of August, yes, your mind is going to be even more intense than it was before the prior week, because I feel that a lot of you might even feel like you want to step away from somebody, especially if they're watching you, or if they're not communicating, if they're not letting you know what's going on, and then your mind is racing, but you still stay trapped. You still don't really move away. You don't leave them behind, but you just wait. So even if you're dealing with an ex-partner, some of you are still healing from that energy with that particular person, wondering whether or not they're going to open up to you or not. And I feel like the person that you're dealing with, they're even indecisive about you. They're dealing or weighing the pros and cons up about somebody else, and maybe they're weighing the pros and cons up about you and trying to figure out what to do, which is not right. I won't say it's not right. I'll say that if they're not letting you know about that, that's not right. Or the fact that they're energetically offering you a little bit and the other person a little bit at the same time, and not letting you know what's going on, that's not right. And constantly not giving you, letting you know what's going on, or being honest and say, oh, I'm not ready, or I'm not ready to be in commitment, I'm not ready because such and such. They don't have to let you know everything, but I feel like part of that is what's going on. So kind of indecisive, and kind of leaving you restricted in some way. It's going to have you worried and feeling like you can't leave. But I feel like part of it is disconnecting. And if someone is saying that they don't want to commit or be in a relationship, or if they plan some kind of game with you, you have to be, honest about those kind of energies and kind of disconnect from that person completely if that's necessary. All right. So I feel towards the end of the month there may be some kind of party gathering or whatever it might be, and there could be some issues of communication with you and that particular person. Even if you're around friends, you're around family, I feel like that person knows what they can do, and they might try to manipulate, try to control, try to make it as though they're in the right, or that what they're doing is it's okay. They can get away with it because you kind of allow them to come back. You allow it to happen over and over again because you might have this deep connection with them where you do let them off the hook at times. But I feel like that's unhealthy, for you and for them. So again, try to disconnect. Yes, they might be around, and sometimes they might even come around because you two have children together, and sometimes they might even purposely ignore you at times and just talk to the children and just leave, these kind of things, or use your children as an scapegoat or an excuse to do certain things just when you're around. And sometimes I feel like some of you might be dealing with someone who comes around because you're dealing with a new romantic partner or someone that you're getting to know, and maybe trying to manipulate or trying to get you to get them to be jealous or something like that could be going on, issues like that. So yeah, I do feel like they might be coming around, but I also feel like they are still maybe kind of in and out, and they may be detaching a bit because they're focused on career towards the end of the month. And yes, they feel for you. Yes, they want to get closer to you, but they're watching from afar. They're not really letting you know and expressing everything to you. So I feel like you're going to have to rely on your personal intuition, rely on how you feel for this person. If you feel deeply, if you feel like this is just something passionate, one night kind of thing where you fell for somebody, or if this is something seriously spiritual for you, a connection that can grow, somebody that you can really get to know, and somebody that's willing to make sacrifices for you to come together. So I feel, yes, that person may be a bit distant, but they are it seems like they know their boundaries, so to speak, though. I don't feel like I can't say for everybody because each to each their own, so this is a general reading, but I don't feel like for many of you out there that it's like cheating or infidelity. If anything, a lot of you have been through that kind of situation and you forgave that person, and sometimes you might feel like they're tempted to do something like that again, and you're not trying to have it, but you're not really sure. So it's like, you're trying to build that trust with that person. So I feel like these things will happen, and I feel like there's good energy for you and someone else, but there's a lot of up and down to focus on. So I feel like there is some kind of restriction. Things might not be all that pleasing this month in some way, but I do feel like career and opportunities like that will be good, and opportunities to hang around with friends and maybe get to know somebody, have a good time and party. All right, so that's going to be a reading for the month of August of 2018. I hope that the messages did help you out. Tons of love, lots of light to you, tons of healing vibes. I wish you the best, and you can always go to psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for you. Have a good one.